6, and I'm going to look over here. And it's just going to take a couple of seconds, and then we'll know. Receiving your content, your audience will see it in a moment. Good. So, happy Friday. It's Friday morning. Welcome to this Phrasal Friday with Learn English with Bob the Canadian. If you don't know me already, I'm Bob the Canadian, and every Friday morning I do a live stream. And the current topic for the next few weeks is phrasal verbs. Again, in English, we like to have a verb, and then we like to add more words to the verb to make it extra difficult for you. This morning I was thinking phrasal verbs must leave you guys frazzled. Frazzled is when you're just, it's confusing and you're going a little crazy. So it's Phrasal Friday. Today we're going to look at phrasal verbs that have the word out in them. And I apologize to my Instagram viewers last week. I kept holding the words outside of the frame. I will try really hard this morning to hold the words so that everybody in all of my live streams is able to see them. So phrasal verbs with the word out. And I have 12 today. I was going to say it's 12, so 10 plus 2, so 12. The first one that we're going to look at is the verb pick out. So the definition of this is to choose. So let's say there were a whole bunch of candies on a table, and I was allowed to pick out one of them. So basically it means I'm allowed to choose one. I always want to choose more than one, but to pick out is to choose. So you could say, I was able to pick out a candy, or I picked out a new car yesterday, or today I'm going to pick out a new pair of shoes. So it means to choose. The next one, the next phrasal verb we're going to look at is let out. I'll just pause for a moment to say hi to all the people who are watching. Welcome to the live stream, phrasal verbs. Then this is the second one of 12, so you haven't missed much if you just joined us. Let out. So let's say you have a dog and the dog sleeps in the house at night. In the morning you would let out the dog. So it really means to just open a door and allow the dog to go outside. So to let out. You can also you could also let out a laugh, like it caught me off guard and I let out a little laugh. But to let out is to release something, to let out. The next one that we're going to look at is figure out. So this really means to solve. Let's say you're in math class and you have a math problem. You can figure out the answer, which means that you are solving the answer. The other day, actually, I did a YouTube video where I did some jokes. I'll put a link up here afterwards. And I did a riddle, and I asked people to figure out the riddle. So it means to solve. The next one we're going to look at is cut out. So this kind of has two meanings. The simplest one is if you take scissors and you cut out something from the piece of paper. So if I wanted to cut out this, I would use scissors to cut out the word. But it also in English can mean when you stop doing something. So for instance, maybe you don't want to eat anything that has sugar in it. You could say, I am cutting out sugar. I have cut out sugar, which means you no longer eat food that has sugar in it. So cut out, you can cut something out with scissors. You know what scissors are, right? Or cut out means that you could, stop having something. So you could say, I've cut out my afternoon nap. I don't have it anymore. Or I've cut out sugar in my diet. Just stopping again to say hello to everybody. Welcome to the live stream. We've gone through 4 phrasal verbs so far, and we're going to keep moving on here. So let me flip this around. Hang out. You've probably heard this one before. This means to spend time with friends. So I could say, today I am going to hang out with my friends after work. So it means I would be going to meet my friends somewhere and we would be spending some time together. Maybe we're going to a restaurant. I'm not sure exactly, but you would say, today I'm going to hang out with my friends. So just spend some time with them. in order to hang out with my friends, I need to head out. So this would mean if I'm home, at some point I might head out to work, which means I go to work. Or I might say to my wife, I'm heading out to the hardware store, which means I'm going to the hardware store. So to head out means that you're leaving and that you're on your way somewhere. So that was hang out and head out. I think you're probably all familiar with fill out. Mostly this is used when you have to fill out a form. So maybe you're at a government office, maybe you're getting your driver's license, and before you can get it, you need to fill out. You need to take a pen and you need to write in all of your information onto a form, and we call that filling out. So you might say, today I filled out a form to get my driver's license, or today I filled out a form in order to, well, maybe you would say, today I filled out an application for a university, so to fill out. Pass out. So this one has two meanings as well. The one meaning simply means to lose consciousness. So let's say I bang my head really hard against something and I pass out, or I lose consciousness. So to pass out means to just fall on the floor unconscious. The second meaning of pass out means if I have a whole bunch of things, I might pass them out to people. So let's use candies again as an example. I would pass out some candies to the students in my class. So it would mean to distribute. So it means two things: to be rendered unconscious. So you're knocked out, you pass out. And the second one is to distribute, or to give something to a bunch of people, to pass things out. Philip, got those done. 4 to go. This is the one I need to do next. Eat out. So this is an interesting one because there's a couple of phrasal verbs around eating. We say, if I eat in, it means I'm eating at home. If I eat out, it means I'm going to a restaurant. So I could come home and say to my wife, Jen, do you want to eat out tonight? And she would say, sure. Or she might say, I'd rather stay in, I'd rather eat in. So to eat out means to go out to a restaurant. So it is kind of funny though, because if you go to eat out, then you go in a restaurant and you eat in the restaurant. And I hope I haven't confused you too much now, but to eat out is to go to a restaurant and eat at the restaurant. So to not eat at home. Act out. So this would be, let's say you are an actor in a play. You would act out a scene. So you would act out the part of the play that you need to do. So you're on a stage and you're going to act out the part of Hamlet. I'm not sure if you're familiar with any plays, but you would act out that scene. And then two more here. Often you hear the verb roll out, especially with bigger tech companies. They roll out their new product, so it means to release. So recently Apple has rolled out its new line of smartphones. So to roll out means to release. It also means, like if you have a carpet that's rolled up, so a carpet that's in a roll, you would roll out the carpet. And then wipe out. So to wipe out, let's say I was running across a muddy field and I slipped and I fell down. In English we say that's wiping out. Like I wiped out. I was running across a muddy field and I slipped and I wiped out. So it means you fall. Like you fall right on your back, you fall on your butt, and you're just laying there because you wiped out. Just give me a second here to make sure that I've done everything. I think I have. So that was phrasal verbs without. That was 12 of them, and I think I went through all of them. Thank you so much for joining me again this morning. If you haven't had a chance yet, there was a video this past Tuesday, and it was about jokes and riddles. I tell 2 jokes and 1 riddle. So if you haven't seen that yet, maybe take a minute to head over to YouTube. It's only on YouTube. If you're already on YouTube, great, and find that video. Bob the Canadian here. Learn English with Bob the Canadian. I hope you have a really good weekend. I was gonna tell you a little story about something that I did yesterday, so that you could understand the past tense. But maybe I'll save that for next week. I think we're almost out of time here. I like to keep these at about 10 minutes. I'm just going to say hi to a few people. I want to say hi to everyone on the Facebook stream, hi to all of the people watching on the YouTube stream, and hi to everyone on the Instagram stream. If you're not aware, I do pop around on all three of those platforms. So if you aren't following me on Instagram, there's a link in the description, in the replies, or there will be later today. And you can kind of sort your way around. But that was 12 phrasal verbs using the word out. Next week, Friday morning, 8:15 a.m., join me for Phrasal Friday again, where I'll look at 10 to 15 more phrasal verbs. And in the meantime, make some homework for yourself. Do some searching online for other phrasal verbs. Anyways, have a great day. I gotta get ready for work. I start work in 5 minutes, and I will see you next Tuesday in the next video. I'm not sure of the topic yet, but we might be going to the library. Have a great day. Just going to turn off my streams.